Start that. Lumser, I'm bored. What plaything do you have to offer to me today?
Something from the SK. Well, let me restart that. It is not us this week. We're back to the SK system now.
Oh,
It
yeah?
is, well, not just any part of the SK system, a little place known as Florida. And for
Finally,
those,
Florida. Yay.
and for those who are dyslexic, it is spelled Phoorida. But and for those in the comments, yeah, you can fight me on it. I'm from Florida too, so screw you. Let me just say this: the story where this takes place, I used to live in the jurisdiction of this city, and it's a wonderful city. They did, at least when between I last checked in there, they did a remodel or spruce up their downtown area and everything else. So that's a fun thing to say. But in this article, it turns out there is a gentleman that got arrested in the Ocala area due to one throwing a brick through a window. And when the cops showed up because of this incident, he told the cops he was a time traveler and that he threw the brick through the window because he needed to save a baby sleeping in the room from some future event. He also admitted to swimming in the victim's pool.
Oh, wow. So how did this help the baby in the future? Do we not get any more?
That pretty much that was the whole article. Hey, you wanted short, you got short. So
Indeed.
so you got one, a Florida man. Two, you got short.
Yeah, so unfortunately we got to be short today because for some odd reason Zoom is saying I haven't paid my bill. But that's all right. I'll pay it on Friday. More reason why you should drink more Dubby. Subscribe, like, comment, and also subscribe and join my OnlyFans. That way we don't have these problems in the future. Maybe it'll resolve technical issues
And donate
too.
to our tip fund.
Yes, and a tip jar. Just give us money.
Please give us money. We are not like H3 podcasts. We're not like Ethan Klein. We're not like Philip DeFranco. Nor are we like Logan Paul or PewDiePie. So
we should do what's that movie with Eddie Murphy where he pretends he's blind and he's crippled in the beginning? Trading Places.
Trading Places.
Yeah, we need to come on YouTube, pretend that we're blind, missing legs. Then once somebody donates, we say, "Good thanks, man."
Knowing my luck, I see you wandering around Dirtyburg all goddamn day. Screw you. you ain't handicapped.
Just an emotional.
Well, what do you need me to?
The inside.
I should have used that in the. I finally adjusted the things. Like I should have switched it to the other one I picked up from Dan instead of what's up there. But I think it says like emotionally dead on it, dead inside. But
yeah, somebody.
Maybe I should get more. Maybe I should get more money out of the area and act like the local yokels here in Martinsburg by saying, oh, "Give me a cigarette, give me money, give me a cigarette, give me money, give me a cigarette, give me money, give me got a lighter." But either
way, indeed. So not much on the agenda today because, like I said, I want to do a short episode and keep it kind of tiny and small. Because not sure how long I'm going to be able to record. But yeah, recently Al and I went to a toy show. We didn't have time to talk about it last week or the week before. It was the same weekend we came down to see you there at the axe throwing place. But we had went the Saturday before because I guess Al was getting sick of being in the house. Yes, my bruise now looks like somebody kissed me on my forearm. But but we went to and basically what was known as oh, I'm trying to think of what it's called, toys or something. I mentioned it to you in our messages. Anyways, but it was a toy show in Carlisle. Was a small show. Wasn't doing a whole lot. If you pick up audio in the background, that's not EVP. It's people talking in the background. So don't get excited, all you ghost watchers out there. But anyways, with that being said, we went. It was a really interesting show. So I've never really been to a toy show before. Plenty of Comic Cons, plenty of things of that nature. I did manage to pick up a couple of new pins that Al snagged for me. Found an Alicon, which excites me. Ba Weep Grana Weep Niniban. So give them an Energon cube. But it was interesting because like I saw some nostalgic toys, things of that nature. Um, I was looking at some of the Grimlocks because they had G1 Grimlock there. I think the lowest price I saw on a loose G1 that was incomplete was $75. I about had a heart attack from seeing that. On the most expensive one, loose, mind you, not complete. He had his rifle, but not his sword, and they wanted 150 for that, like double the one that I saw that was just completely sans everything. And I'm just like, yeah, and it had a feel very much akin to like a flea market, more than it did like a genuine toy show. Now there was a few cool companies that were there. There was this one company, wish would have kept some of the cards, but they kind of made like toys of dinosaurs, but they would make your own hybrid version of a dinosaur. You want to see what a snake and a T-Rex looks like combined? They got you. Alien Queen and a T-Rex, they got you. And it was
See that
kind of
that's
cool.
the thing about a lot of these conventions, and whether it be a comic convention or a toy convention, you always have like, yeah, they some of the really small ones have that flea market feel. I remember listening to Slacker and the Man. This was again going, I want to say 10 years ago, if not more than 10 years ago. He had on one of his co-hosts ran a comic shop near him, and he brought him to one day, said, listen, you're closed today, right? And he said, yeah. Brought him to Mega, I think it was like MegaCon or something like that. And he was shocked. He was saying that on air. It's like, I was surprised. It's like I should be setting up at a convention, something either a small one or a big one like this, because you have such a range of prices, because you could have a Origins, Wolverine Origins #1 going for, $5 and one, and it could be in mint condition, like maybe a 9.6, 9.5, or even a 9.0 for $5 in one spot, and it's $500 in another spot, and people are buying it like there's no tomorrow. Now, again, remember, it's 10, 12 years ago when this went down, so people's spending might be different now. And similar thing, 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago, I sponsored somebody. He never been to Baltimore Comic Con before, and it's like, listen, I'll pay for gas, I'll pay for your lunch, I'll pay for your ticket, complete sponsored. I had the money to do it. And he's like, I never went, never been to it. And I'm like, listen, you don't have to bring money. Trust me. If you, I'm Sasha, I'm sure you could agree to this. You don't have to bring money to a Comic Con, even if it's for state or larger. You don't need to bring money. You could spend all day in the damn panels if you want to, especially with something like Baltimore.
Right.
And he went in. It's like, he told me after we met up, and because with a lot of larger shows, you whether you do it on purpose or not, you're going to get split up. We met up later, and he's like, dude, you won't believe how many Hot Wheels places there were I spotted. I'm like, I could have told you that. And he's like, yeah, I'm a Hot Wheels fanatic. I like collecting Hot Wheels. I didn't believe that there were this many Hot Wheels vendors at this event. I would have bought some cash. I'm like, you didn't know. Now you know. But and it was that same thing, that whole same event that our go-to in regards to seeing. This was also the first time that him seeing a lot of the not just regular cosplayers, but the sexy cosplayers, the ones that tend to wander around in bikinis all day.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? God bless America. Yeah, because we'd be texting back and forth, where you at? And it's like, I don't know, but God bless America. I'm like, oh,
There
one
was
of those,
very
hey?
little like cosplayers at this convention, which was shocking. I mean, because a lot of the vintage stuff, there's a lot of fandoms for and to, you'd expect maybe somebody dressing up from like He-Man or Mask or throw out a popular toy line from the 80s or the 90s. And it was toys for the ages, by the way. But Carlisle, Pennsylvania has like a pretty big expo center. I'm shocked nobody's done a Comic-Con up there. They really should. Maybe that's the universe speaking, me saying, hey, you need to get a horror show and a Comic-Con up there. And so basically I'm like, stay out of Carlisle, and you know who I'm talking to.
That I know we want to speed things on, but that reminds me, it's like good shit. Even though with cosplay, you're going to have the standards at every show. I'm talking Deadpool, Harley Quinn, Doctor Who.
Yeah, but this was like
Those
a
are
toy
usually
show, so I mean, it's a little different. And apparently, I mean, I was just looking it up on my phone, and it's like PA's premiere toy show, which is kind of cool. But it was interesting because like tickets to get in were like less than $5. Al had grabbed me an Alicon, a Camp Crystal Lake sign as a little tiny pin, which was kind of cool. And then a Jurassic Park, but like one of them ones where it's like engraved in, but it had all the colors and stuff. And so that's been added to the bag strap. But it was a decent show. Now him being into patches, like the whole toy thing was just curious because he was looking mostly for board games, and there were a few. Most of them were outrageously priced. But it's like I told him, like all the big and popular ones, like Mousetrap, you can get modern versions of. I mean, they're pretty much the same game, except for maybe Clue, Monopoly. They've got different pieces now. But I'm like, hey, there's still other stuff there worth checking out. And so, yeah, out of the blue, we went and did that. The Saturday we came and saw you. And I mean, for $5, we killed like 2 or 3 hours, and that's less than the price of a ticket. I don't know what tables and booths cost because, again, I don't have the inventory to do a toy show, though my desk would probably say otherwise. But outside of that, it was a good time. And it was definitely something out of the blue. Like I took him to one of those record, I can't think of what it's called, but love drafts up in PA, which we'll definitely visit when we go to Four State. They occasionally have like a record day where they have the 45s and the other LPs there. I like to go to those because I can pick up laser discs for like $2 or $3. Like the last one I went to, I got The Crow and Dracula on laser disc, which was kind of cool, and I paid less than $3 each. But again, I like to collect dead formats. What can I say? But that was an interesting side venture, side journey. But conventions, if you get a chance, just go. Go to local ones. Don't worry about SDCC. Don't worry about big ones. Baltimore is nice to go to maybe once or twice, but I wouldn't turn it into an annual habit.
I did. From when I found out about Baltimore, it was like 2004 or 5 when I found out about it, and I went to Baltimore up until like 2009, 2010. When I ran out of cash to go, to me, I loved going year in year out compared to Wizard World because Baltimore was always a fun and friendly environment to go to. It's one of the places I met I'm sure you guys at home can't really see it. It's the litho I now have over here. It's Billy Tucci. Granted, he's a little bit more on the conservative side, but he's a wonderful person to talk to. He's got humor part of him and everything else, and it's that aspect of where you actually feel like you're part of family. And no, I'm not going to add a clip of Vin Diesel going family, but
we'll just do
but
Olive Garden. That'll be a better meme. When you're here, your family.
Your family. You know what? If there's ever a chance of meeting Vin Diesel, I would want him to do an Olive Garden. It's like, if you're ever in Olive Garden, come down to Olive Garden where you're treated like family. But
I want
didn't
my
go
John
for a
Cena
while.
Ernest movie. That's what I want.
But for the most part,
Son of Ernest.
For the most part, the only reason why I don't go back to Baltimore that much is because burnout, just tired of going. I want to have a few years between. Even though I could probably go back, con somebody to go, and we all like, hey, I'll pay for lunch or gas or something. Just, let's go. But one of the fun challenges I want to do, one of my folks in my D&D, she's like, I bet I'm willing to find you at a con. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do that, we're going to Baltimore. I'll pay for the parking, I'll pay for the tickets. We'll go. You won't find me. You will not find me.
Speaking of, I'm
considering
probably
a chance.
I'm probably gonna snag tickets for Harrisburg on Friday. Do you want me to go ahead and grab yours while I'm at it?
Sure, I could pay you back.
All right. I figured it's wabi sabi, man, and it comes back around. I ain't worried about it.
At least let me make the offer for it. What do tickets cost anyway for a 2-day pass?
I looked at the 2-day passes, and for all three of us, it was like $88. But that's for 3 people, so it comes out to less than 20 ahead, like 21 ahead.
You said 80 something. That's 80 something. That's maybe 25.
Yeah, something
$30
like
a piece.
Less
than $30 a piece.
Yeah,
so.
It's less than 30. So don't sweat it, man. We'll figure it out. All comes out in the wash.
But either way, I'm looking forward to. Speaking of, I know you want to talk about other stuff, but speaking of 4th State, the panels came out this past week.
Yeah.
There's 2 that I want to snag if they allow, with permission that they want me to. If they give me permission, I'll snag. The first one is the Power Rangers panel. I have to gun for that. It's been a Long Coat Mafia podcast tradition over the past 8 years. I have to try.
I just don't.
I understand, but it's Power Rangers and the Long Coat Mafia podcast have been in hand. Power Rangers panels, our show, and 4th State have been hand in hand for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things I could go either way. One, if they tell me no, I'm going to be the first to say, hey, the curse has been broken. But I want to, one of the things to, like, usual rhetoric, you guys have all the credit goes to you guys, but I would love to have a panel coming from the female perspective, because other than the actress who portrayed the human form of Rita Repulsa, it's mostly been guys.
Yeah.
So I would love to have a female perspective on it. And the other panel is one that's happening on Sunday. It's about the trope of saving the princess. And I think that would be an interesting thing to share with at least my audience. And if I'm able to get one or both of those panels, we can, in essence, skip that, because we're going to be at that event and we're going to be hung over. Good chance both those panels will be perfect for that week, and we could take, in essence, a week off in regards to what we do. So,
I don't know if I can do this justice.
What? She's leaving oh no, Sasha is leaving her desk.
No, 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. No, we're not playing music. I like how Zoom is like, are you playing music? Oh, you're making a special brew?
No, that's homemade ecto cooler.
Ah.
But it can be doctored up with certain things. I strongly recommend. I strongly recommend anything with an orange or a citrusy flavor, or hypnotic, and that does wonders to it. But I figured out basically what Coke's formula for basically ecto cooler was. So I read a couple online articles about it, how they made it, and they used like flavor packets. And there's a lemonade that they make with a flavor packet, and I'm trying to think what this jug is. And they make Tampico citrus punch with a flavor packet. And if you take a 2-liter bottle of basically their regular Minute Maid lemonade, because that's made with a flavor packet, and you mix it with one of those big giant jugs like I just showed of Tampico citrus punch, and you add like 2 or 3 drops of like green food coloring and shake accordingly, it is spot on.
Let me just say this. If you have the aspect of offering me some, if you do doctor it up some way, shape, or form, please let me know, or else I'll be, that way I have honest warning.
2 versions will be available. You can have a virgin, or you can have it dirty.
Depending on the dirty version, please warn me, because I don't want to walk into.
If I come to you and go, do you want a virgin or would you like it dirty? You should be able to.
I'm asking I'm still asking questions in regards to that dirty. Like, will I be tripping balls in about an hour?
I have yet to try it with absinthe. That is a good possibility. Because I do have a supplier of the genuine wormwood stuff, and it's like, Yes, we'll show up to a few panels, Hunter Thompson style. No, we're out of seat. I don't want you to stand in the back as long as you're quiet.
One, if I'm going to ask permission for the panels, I want to be stone cold sober. Now, because I know you have plans of hitting up a certain type of establishment the night, or say the time between Saturday and Sunday. I don't know.
Did you not see the synergy there? Did they not know that there was something going on at the Ag Center? They must have, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't reach out to John or Andrew and try to make that synergy more cohesive.
If they know in that sense, it's like, Sasha, again, warn me if you come up to me and go, I need you to drink this. I don't want to be walking into that establishment and going, oh my God, Wonder Woman is stripping. No, no. I don't want to be tripping out like this. There's losers everywhere. This is Bat Country.
Where are my fucking golf shoes? I think my best warning to you would be, if I start any phrase with "as your attorney, I advise you."
As your attorney, I advise you to drink this. I'm going to have to say no. No. Because if I'm going to be an asshole, I don't want to be an asshole. I don't know my level of assholeness is going to be when I am tripping balls. I've never tripped balls before. I've been 4 sheets to the wind.
Shades come out, and I got the bucket hat on, and I got like a cigarette hanging out of one side of my mouth. Yeah, then you know you're in trouble.
Because I've been 4 sheets to the wind before, and technically only 2 people have seen me 4 sheets to the wind. Technically 3, and you're not one of them. So
that's all right. I don't have that kind of fun anymore. Anyways, I'm getting too old for it. 44.
I think the last time I was 4 sheets was 2019 into 2020 New Year's Eve, and I literally got 4 sheets to the wind, and after the bar didn't cut me off, my buddy didn't cut me off. He was enjoying the fact that I was 4 sheets to the wind, but I had the sensibility to cut myself off, and within an hour I was stone cold sober.
Yep.
I probably wasn't, but I didn't have a hangover. I didn't, but I was like sober. I could have passed for sober.
Not been there, done that. I know what you mean. No, it's just gonna be us having fun with Al thrown in. Al gets to be the straight man amongst the two of us, which is ironic on so many levels.
Depends. I've straightened up over the years.
A trans woman, a Florida boar, Martinsburg madman, and a Boy Scout walk into a bar. I think we have the title of our episodes.
A trans woman, a Florida man with trauma, and a Boy Scout walk into a bar.
No, it's not a joke. It's this episode. Our hell will lie. Tell you we're taking you to Savannah's and then turn around and take you into Stallions instead. Take you to Bears night. There's an awful lot of guys in here, and all of them are hairy and wearing leather.
Sasha, I'm not comfortable with this.
But I'm getting free drinks and food.
It's like, I'm not comfortable with this, but I'm getting free drinks and food. I'm mixed emotions here.
Now just be like, work it. Like your car's right, you might get a free car. We have fun though. Don't get me wrong, Stallions is a cool place. I've been there a couple of times, and it's always been a blast. We went, I want to say, there was a time Al and I was up in Harrisburg, and we were just looking for something to do that evening. I'm like, well, we're like 15 minutes from Harrisburg. Let's try Stallions and see what's up for the evening. And this was like, I want to say right before July 4th. So it's Harrisburg. Parking was already hell. All the parking garages were, shocker, closed. And I was like, well, if I don't find a spot within the next 15, 20 minutes, I'm giving up. Because we had stopped at like, I want to say at least 10 different parking garages within walking vicinity. And I was like, hon, if you really want to go and do something tonight, find the one that's furthest away. I said, you finally have my permission to park the furthest away from our destination, and we can hoof it. It ain't that far. And so he took my advice, and he's like, oh, wow, yeah, this one's open. And I was like, yeah, it's the furthest away from the, bar dance club district. Obviously, it's going to be empty or next to. And we get down there, and it was funny because I saw another girl there like myself, but it was kind of like looking into a mirror like 20 years ago. And it's like, I remember that girl. That's me 10 years ago, because she was trying hard with everybody. And it's like, honey, no. No. No.
And I did look up that I saw the event that you shared with me, and then I looked them up on Facebook. They got it, and like, yeah, last time I went to a club like this was
last week, because you lived near 20.
No. Actually stepped inside a club like that was maybe 3-4 months after I broke up with my ex, because it was one of those things that my buddy, this is before I even knew you. He was like, listen, go to, dude, here's $20. Go to a club, and you have to at least get her out of your mind. Just, you need to see other people naked. Here's some money. Go. Get shit. Like, I don't want to go. It's a sell. I know how it is. But it'll help you.
It'll help you.
Just help you. It's just help you refocus. It's the quote, in a way, consider it kind of like an etch a sketch. It's just just to help you get
reboot.
her out
You
of your
just need
mind.
to be shaken.
It's a reboot. You just need to be shaken. Just get a lap dance. Get a
The Long Coat Mafia and Princess of Darkness do not advocate shaking of infants.
right. You just
You get 3 shakes. After the third one, you're out.
but get a lap dance. Get a private dance. Just something.
And
Get
all he gave you was
contact with
$20.
No, I'm just saying. I went in with money to do it and just
I was
had a
like,
good
what club
time.
did you
And
go
just,
to if you got that for $20?
it's Martinsburg. No,
It would have been, hey, yeah, this is to remind you that it could have been a lot worse. That's C-section Tuesday. 2 for 1 special.
as I told Sasha before, it's like this is a high. She's like, this is a high end club. It's like the last time I was in a high end club is when I went to Philly back in 2002, and it was one of these high end clubs that everyone in there, their ugliest woman looked like one of the prettiest women here in Dirtyburg. Um, one of those type of ordeals. And
That's not the 109, I hope, because the 109's always been wretch.
No, I mean, if you went to one of the better ones that are here,
Yeah, that's like down, downtown. Or you go out to the
it might have
Bunker
been,
Hill area.
yeah, around there. I mean, it was like one of the best looking women here was one of the worst looking women there. My buddy's like, you told me and my buddy Mark, he's like, listen, this is a high end establishment. Say we got a record deal, I'm your manager. One of those type of deals. We had to make ourselves look big. And the other one we went to, this is where I was telling you, we found out later that it's the same club Kevin Smith went to before he got married and settled down. And before he got big, it pretty much, it looked like somebody put instead of a stage, it looked like a boxing ring without the posts and the ropes around it, because it was just a square stage in the center and it looked like stands all around it, and there was no wiggle room between you and, it's like going to the Alamo.
Yeah.
It was like that. You literally had nothing between, there was very little room between you and that table, if you will. And that's where the dancers or entertainers would come around like, would you like a lap dance? I'm like, oh my God, this is one of the worst clubs I've ever been in. And we had to, when we finally left, we exited through a adult bookstore. Kid you not. And it was run by this oldest, most ancient looking elderly woman you could ever see. And I was like, oh God. Not to mention my buddy disappeared for like 2 hours that he spent in regards to a private dance. Now at this time, I think the statutory limitations have run out. He was dating a stripper at the time, and he's like, tell no one. But I think he broke up with her, and where they are now, who knows? So
Who knows?
who knows? So I haven't seen either of them in like 20 years. So
Yeah. Sorry. Friendships get like that sometimes.
no, not just that. It was bad blood. Just that we kind of
Drifted apart.
everybody kind of drifted apart.
Everybody does
So,
that at some point. It's human nature. But yeah. So yeah, there was the toy show, and then I had stopped off at Back to the Media. I'm quite sure you've probably seen their posts on like Facebook and things of that nature. That's down there toward Winchester, and that was like what we went to do before we came up to see you. And like they've been slowly building an arcade. I want to say they picked up an original Mario Brothers machine, not Super Mario Brothers, but original Mario Brothers arcade, where you have the little POW block in the middle, and it's kind of like a one-player thing or a two-player thing. And yeah, because a lot of people think Super Mario Brothers is the first game. I'm like, no, technically Donkey Kong is, and then you have Donkey Kong Jr., and then you have Mario had a lot of weird jobs. He was fighting monkeys. Then he worked for a construction crew, and now he does plumbing, and now he's the protector of the Mushroom Kingdom. Ah, quite a glow up there. But
I've been seeing their posts in regards to um they're building a retro arcade and everything else. I know if this is the same place, I think they've had uh drama themselves in regards to several things. It's just that
yeah.
they're
Well,
at
they were in
times like
Chambersburg for a little bit. So they had the location in Chambersburg at the mall, because that's where Roddy Piper went right before he'd passed. What's his name? It was from Gremlins, the guy who played Billy Peltzer.
yeah, I know who you mean, but his name escapes me.
Yeah, but he was there for signing and things of that nature. And but anyways, no, since Al's into pinball and everything else, and they have a few pinball, they had posted about some pinballs that they had picked up. They don't have the arcade set up yet, but clearly they have like new shirts and whatnot, which I kind of dug because you had a Transformers kind of like a wrecker slash Junkion feel to it. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. And while I was in there, obviously I picked up the new shirt with the new design logo, and I picked up a copy of Predators with Adrian Brody in it on Blu-ray, and that was like $4. And I mean, there was just the one pinball arcade there, but you can try out all kinds of game systems. They've got like the mini systems and things of that nature in there. And it's a real nice shop, and I know online they do a lot of stuff with like audio where they'll have like records and stuff where they're showing what they've picked up in their collection. Sometimes they'll actually sell stuff online during like their video things, like to the highest bidder or whatnot, which is cool. And
Did
I've
you stop
always
by that
liked,
candy shop?
huh?
Did you stop by that candy shop that's down there?
Yes,
They have like they have all that pinballs and stuff,
yes. Al,
pinball
as
machines in
soon as
there.
Al saw, because they had that frisbee golf game, as soon as he
Yeah,
saw that, and then he saw, hey, they got pinball, he wanted to stop and take a look. And we went in there for a little bit. I'm not a big pinballer. I mean, I'll play it if he's playing. But we played a couple rounds of pinball, and I picked up a Moxie and some Razzles because I haven't seen Razzles in forever. That's that candy. It's like a candy that turns into a gum after you eat it.
yeah.
It's weird stuff. And but the Moxie's like my favorite because there's a candy shop in Carlisle I'm constantly getting Moxie from because they kind of have like a mix and match like 6-pack, and they even have like knee-high grape and knee-high orange in there. So I mean, if that doesn't take you back, I don't know what will.
That's what speaking of the mix and match. That's what I miss about some. I know before they were Regal, uh, they had it the big theater here in Martinsburg. I know it's what I loved about that big theater. I know the littler theater when I was in Ocala, they had it is like yeah, like every theater they have M&Ms, Reese's Pieces, peanuts, so forth and so on.
They got the pack.
What they had was yeah, they had the packs, but you could buy bulk like mix. You can mix and match. Yeah, it was like $7, but you could a pound. But you if you wanted a little bit of A, B, and C, you could mix and match and have that bag. And that's what I always when I was in that smaller theater. I always used to do a little bit of Reese's Pieces, a little bit of M&Ms, a little bit of peanut M&Ms. You know what? I want a little bit of this, a little bit of like Nestle's Crunch Bits, and put them all in a bag, shake it all up, mix it. You have that nice variety in there. Usually spent like $10 on it sometimes, but it
Yeah.
was just having that large bag of candy.
I've always wanted to do like I wanted to go to a theater that just like pre-mixes the popcorn for you. Like if you want a candy and the popcorn, they just automatically do it. So what I like to do at home is if you fresh pop some popcorn and you throw milk duds on it, like actual like the milk duds candy, and shake it up, let them get kind of melty. It's got to be fresh hot popcorn. That's one of the big caveats. Douse that thing with real butter after you've removed all the heavy milk fats, because that's what shrivels up your popcorn if you didn't know. and then throw some sea salt on that, and oh, it's heaven. Because you got the caramel, you got the chocolate, you got the popcorn. It's like the perfect fusion, but I've yet to find a theater that'll automatically do that for you. Alamo, if you're listening, you want to get my top billing, the number one, open a location in Chambersburg, because the property for the mall is getting redeveloped, but it hasn't been sold yet. So that would be a good place to buy. And I would quit my job tomorrow. And yeah, give me my pre-mixed popcorn where you can pick a candy and we'll mix it in for you as we pop it fresh, you know. But to dream, to dream. We don't really have very many good movies coming out because of the strike. And again, I totally understand where they're coming from. But did you see the Blue Beetle popcorn tub that they're gonna have?
Yeah, sadly, that's the aspect to it. The Berkeley Theater here used to do stuff like that, but not anymore. Meaning I got a couple of when the Adventures Endgame came out, they had different keychains and stuff. They had they do big tubs of I have one that I'm using as a change bid. Jurassic World, they had the Thor, when Thor Ragnarok, they had Hulk's hammer for a drink and the Hulk's fist for popcorn. They haven't been doing that a lot, but I guess for a lot of smaller theaters, it can prove expensive, especially if not a lot of people are buying them.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people are going to see theaters, and especially that when there's burnout, especially with DC movies, it's kind of heading towards Marvel stuff properties, from what I'm hearing as well, that the stuff is starting to get lower and lower. They're getting sick and tired of how the Marvel movies are being presented, Disney movies are presented, and especially with what happened with the Flash a few months ago, and a lot of that stuff is starting to go from A tier or S tier to A tier to B tier to C tier. I'm not knocking Blue Beetle right now in any way, shape, or form, or the actors. Just that I guess we'll see how things fall when it comes out. Just that a lot of people, it's the audience. They're finally showing that they're tired of the whole aspect of superhero movies, just like they're tired of Star Wars.
It's not just superhero movies. It seems like every release now is either a major blockbuster franchise or it's an indie. And I think a lot of people are kind of because we want more of those medium range films where you've got a good story, a decent budget, but maybe not brand name actors, like a place where new actors can cut their teeth. You either have an extreme indie, the new Talk to Me movie. I'm kind of curious about that movie. I want to check it out. Or you have blockbusters like Barbie and Oppenheimer and things of that nature. I mean, Barbie just hit over $1 billion, and it's the first female-directed, female-led film to across that threshold. So
I'll say that it might not have been the first. I'll say this: it might not have been the first. I'll say this, for at least for the time being, you're right. It's the first female-directed and female lead. Female directors have been around for a while.
Wow, yes.
Big was female directed. It was done by the person who played Laverne.
But Big didn't pass $1 billion.
Right. So that's why I want to at least clarify. It might be the first female led $1 billion. But the thing is, I want to see if you heard this. Did you hear what's been coming out of Paramount? This is from, I think, the Paramount CEO. And that is, he stated that in the future, we're not going to be doing brand new movies. We're just going to concentrate on remakes and reboots of what we have in the past. And when I heard about that, if it's true, it's already, they're just showing Hollywood is showing that they are already doing this.
Yeah, because
And the
with
thing
a
is,
remake or a reboot or a requel, you already have an existing audience who's going to check it out. Because
and it
everybody is all talking about, all excited for the new Exorcist film. And I mean, yes, I'm terrible. I'm making a joke right off the bat, but William Friedkin basically said exactly what he wanted to say about the upcoming sequel by passing before it came out. Does it make me sound like a dick? Yes, but I stand by that statement because it's already been shown to test audiences, and even test audiences were like, meh, there's one good jump scare, but that's it. And it's a jump
and the
scare.
thing and the thing is, yeah, it plays to a brand new audience, but it's Disney's already doing it. Paramount's now doing it, and it's just right now. It's like, hey, we don't. Who needs the writers? Who needs the writers? We could just use the stuff that's already written. We don't need the writers. Let them be on strike for the next year if they're able to fund themselves. Heck, we could use scabs if we want to. A lot of these scabs don't want to be part of the SAG union. So let's use them and we'll just create this new, like,
But it right
listen,
now it's just Paramount that's doing this right now.
it's not just Paramount, it's Disney that's doing
Yeah,
this.
Disney's done it for a while, but people are already experiencing burnout. Even Disney is finally feeling the sting of everybody like, hey, we're tired of these reboots and requels. I mean, look at Secret Invasion. Who's actually watching it now? I watched like the first episode and I was bored as hell. When Andor came out for the Star Wars series, I was bored as hell. There was a couple great lines of dialogue, but it's like if I want politics in my Star Wars, I'll watch Star Trek. You know, and it's
And the thing is, in a couple, maybe about 2 weeks or so, Ahsoka's coming out. I want to see Ahsoka. I'll
just a
probably give an
reboot of
episode.
Rebels.
It might be just a reboot of Rebels, but I want to check it out. Uh, but I want to
Don't
see
get
how
me
they take it,
wrong,
how they do it.
that has labs ghost spaceship. That's dope. Because
I,
all they
I,
released initially was the Phantom in the original Rebels toy line, which is like the shuttle that attaches to the Ghost. And I'm like, does the original Phantom attach to the Ghost? Because that would be kind of cool. But the new Ghost, it's like a huge multi-tiered ship that's got the full layout and certain removable sections. And yeah, it's 500 bones, but it's the Star Wars playset we always wanted as kids, where it is to scale and looks right.
but all in all, right now, Disney Plus is losing money. I mean, bleeding money. Uh, Netflix is bleeding money. Everybody, all the other streaming services are bleeding money. Pursuit, like, uh, you can't even find Willow on Disney Plus anymore. I don't think
No,
so. From what I heard, they're pulling stuff left and right, and yet right now,
well, look
I
at
think they're
Paramount. Look, they've
yeah.
canceled several Star Trek shows. They've pulled most of the movies from their platform, and I'm sitting there like, this is a property you own, and you're pulling it out because you want to have people to pay premium for it. It's like you're already getting $5 a month. Call me your tits, you know. It's kind of like why I was disappointed in Twisted Metal. Love the show, great show, want to watch more. Don't want to spend another $6 a month for another streaming service.
Like I told you, it's like I want to see Twisted Metal. I want to see. There's a couple of things on Peacock that I want to see. A few movies have come out on Peacock that I want to see, but because a buddy of mine let me borrow his account or login password his account, I'm still signed in on Peacock on my PS4 because my controller is wants to go. You know what? Even though everything is dead center, it wants to act like it has severe drift and just go all over the place. I
Oh,
can't select, and
that's a frequent issue with those controllers. Most modern controllers get like that after a time. I hate to say it. Your options are simply put: buy a new controller or buy a kit to open up your controller and correct it. And that's it.
then
Now, Now
Then when
the
I get a chance, I'll just swing by Panhandle Games and pick up a new controller. It's that easy.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Because the thing of it is they may even be able to troubleshoot the drift on your controller for you. Because there is a chipset now you can buy for it that goes right in there, takes care of the drift problem. But the thing of it is even PS5 is having these problems. Even the new Xbox, I always confuse them, X or S, whichever the newest one is having these problems. And it's because they
It's
don't
not just that.
controllers to
The,
last.
the ones have had controller issues for a long time.
Oh,
Even not just the Series One, S and X's are having. I've been having drift issues every now and again with when I had the OG Xbox One. So it's been like that, and there's a video on my YouTube channel that I've called "Grind My Gears," from Family Guys. Same things. Like, I don't mind buying a wired controller, but it's not a wired controller.
Right.
The wired controllers are not wired controllers. And like, well, you plug a wire into the back of, your, like I have here, you plug a wire back in to charge it. It's a wired. No, a wired controller is a wire embedded into that controller that if you yanked it a couple of times, a bad thing. We're going to get attacked by the YouTube algorithm, but if you if you shake the controller that by the wire, it's not going to come out of the controller. If all you get when you buy a wired controller nowadays, whether it be Sony or Xbox, it's just like a USB-C cable and a controller that you plug it in, and it's wired. And that'd be the case. I might spend the extra $10-20 and get one that has a battery in the back of it, and save money.
It's madness, and it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Only other thing I can recommend for your PS4 is to try to hard reset the controller. Which, if you look at the back of it, there's like this little pinhole. You got to hit that and hold down while the system's turned off. It'll purge the memory of the controller. Make sure you're not holding the thumbsticks while you're doing that. Plug it in using the USB cord into the PS4. Try to power it up using the controller by hitting the PS button. If that doesn't work, turn on the system manually and then hit the PS button, and it should boot up. There's a couple other steps you can take to hard reboot them too, and sometimes that corrects the issue. Something I found with both the Xbox and PlayStation, if you have a USB media hub attached to the front of either of those systems, or if you expanded like the USB slots that are available, sometimes that can screw with the controller drift, especially on the PS4. So I used to have one of those like little adapters that took the 2 in the front and turned it into 4. And just by doing that, it screws with the signal. It would even cause, not that Bethesda needed more issues, but it would cause issues with my save files anytime I was playing Fallout 4. And once I pulled it out, everything worked just fine. No problems, no bugs, nothing. And it was the weirdest thing.
I don't have that with my PS4. It's just that that's one of the things I hate about the PS4 controls. Oh, you need like a pin or something to reset it like that. You know what? This is, in order for me to reset this, all I'll do is take out the battery, wait a couple of seconds, and pop it back in. That's all I have to do.
I think there's a button sequence you can press on the PS4 controller too, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I'm just so used to popping an earring out, popping it in there, resetting it, and calling it a day.
It'll probably be easier for me just to get a new controller and take the old controller and bring it to the rage room for somebody to smash.
Yeah, PS4 controllers right now, I mean, you can get a used one fairly cheap, but you may run into the same lag problem. But you can get a new one for like next to nothing.
Right. See, maybe next month sometime I'll see about getting it.
But anyways,
because I want to.
Anyway. I wanted to kind of keep the vid short today. That way, Zoom doesn't go, "Oh, you've gone over your recording time." But anyways, that's the show. As we like to say, that's the show. He's a gamer and in a bikini, and as we always say around here,
Right. I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer, and I'm wearing a bikini. Prove
Yep.
me wrong.
And as I say,
Picture in the
Unpleasant
comments.
Screams, and make sure you check us both out. My stuff is on the Princess of Darkness as well as OnlyFans. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere, and OnlyFans. Let me emphasize OnlyFans. And then Chris, obviously, he's got his Dubby plug, and he's got, of course, Long Coat Mafia podcast, and you can find him. It's got like a link tree site. It's got all kinds of stuff. He's everywhere, man.
Everywhere, man.
Everywhere you want to be, like American Express. Just not accepted everywhere, just everywhere.
Hi, do you know me? That's why I carry Dubby.
www. Anyways,
Minute.
that's the show. Have a good night, guys.